Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends, and thanks for dropping by the Horror Zone. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. This is going to be the final video in my Hitcher retrospective series. Of course, I mentioned in the first video and in the second one as well that my friend Natalie reached out to me about watching The Hitcher 2, which is a film I had never seen before, and watching that film kind of got me in the spirit of doing a series on the Hitcher film. So you have the 1986 original, the sequel that came out in 2003, and I keep getting the years mixed up on this one, but the remake, which some say came out in 2006, and the others I see it says it came out in January of 2007. So it came out 21 years after the original, and it was put out by Platinum Dunes, and that'll be the last film that I talk about in this series. I didn't get to see this movie in the theaters. It was one that I saw when it was released on DVD, and it was during that time period, specifically after Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out, where a lot of older horror properties were being remade for modern audiences. So the cast for the Hitcher remake, you have Sophia Bush as Grace Andrews, you have Zachary Knighton as Jim Halsey, Sean Bean as John Ryder, and Neil McDonough as Lieutenant Estridge. Screenplay was by Eric Red, who did the original film, Jake Wade Well, and Eric Berndt, and directed by Dave Meyers. The plot of this film follows a lot of the same beats that the original film did, but in this case, Jim Halsey is not by himself. He's actually on a road trip to Lake Havasu with his girlfriend, Grace. Same things kind of happen. They get stuck in a rainstorm in New Mexico. They almost hit somebody on the road. The differences here is that they don't pick up the hitchhiker, or the Hitcher, this John Ryder character. They go to a gas station, talk to the gas station attendant, and let him know that they saw somebody in the road, looked like their car had broken down. And John Ryder ends up at the gas station. They have a little exchange and agree to take him where he needs to go. And some of the same beats like in the original, he threatens Jim and Grace's lives. They kick him out of the car, and then he proceeds to sort of torment them and set them up for these horrific crimes that he's committing on the road. So a major problem with me for remakes is typically, you know, when you do something and it's almost shot for shot. There are some changes in this. Like I said, you know, you have a couple that's not the lone protagonist. They're just on a trip together, the road trip, which seems very natural, something that they would do, a young couple would do for spring break. I really like the dynamic between the couple. I think the Maggie and the Jim character are really natural together. Both actors do a fine job. Sean Bean does a great job picking up the reins from Rutger Hauer as John Ryder. I don't think he's as intimidating as Rutger Hauer, but he does a good job of making the character his own. I feel like he brought his own, you know, he has his own intensity to the role, and I felt like it was done well. Like I said, there are some beats in this film that are very similar to the original, and I think that's why a lot of people don't like it, much like The Omen or Psycho. They take things a little bit further, or they sort of spin them in a new direction, but for the most part, the outcomes are the same. At the end of the day, it's like, you know, what's the purpose of this film existing? I don't actually hate this film at all. I actually really enjoy it, and I get a lot of joy out of it. I don't think it has the impact that the original does. But at the same time, like I said, I think the strength of this film is in its characters. I think the two leads are really well cast and really have good rapport together. So when the shit starts going down and John Ryder starts setting them up and putting them in these horrific situations, and they're being framed and the police are shooting at them and chasing them, you feel for them because they were just on a road trip for spring break, and you feel for what they're going through because they're both good people, and John Ryder is this sick individual with no real motive other than the fact that he gets glee out of torturing people. It does seem pointless, though, if you want to boil it down to it, because they didn't need to remake it. It has so many of the same beats, just you know, little twists here and there, but pretty much it follows the same beats and the same, you know, blueprint as the original. So why do it at all? But again, I think the cast shines through. I think everybody does an admirable job. The direction is great. I like the soundtrack. The action scenes are great. And at the end of the day, I think you could do a lot worse than the Hitcher remake. So if I had to give the remake to the Hitcher a score on my scale, I would give it 3.5 skulls. So yeah, not as great as the original film, much better than the sequel to that film. But yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I enjoy watching it, and I think everyone does a great job, and I don't get the hate for it. But again, you know, it's like with anything that gets remade. There's some that are successful. There's some remakes that I absolutely cannot stand that some people like. So I think it all just depends on your tastes. So thanks so much, everyone, for watching this series where I talked about the Hitcher franchise. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed talking about some movies that not a lot of people are talking about on YouTube. I feel like a lot of the horror channels right now are talking about the same things. So it was kind of fun, and I want to thank my friend Natalie for sort of spearheading this and you know, getting me to talk about something that I hadn't actually talked about in the 9 years I've been doing videos here. So again, thanks so much, Natalie. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. I hope everyone enjoyed this series. Like I said, this is request month. I've actually gotten a couple more requests that I'm going to try to squeeze in this month that wasn't originally on my slate of videos to do. Got a lot I want to do in the next couple weeks before taking a little break. Coming back in December with a Friday the 13th video celebrating Friday the 13th next month, as well as my year-end top 10 horror films. So I hope everyone looks forward to those. Hope everyone's doing well, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Thank everyone for taking this time to drop by the Horror Zone. It really means a lot to me that people are supporting what I do here. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button down below. I upload videos at least once or twice a week. It would really mean a lot if people would spread the word about this channel. This is a passion of mine. I love the horror genre, and I'm really happy to share my love of it with all of you. So thanks so much again for checking it out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy. Peace.